Well, my next guest is also named Carol. We have Miss Carol Prewitt, and she is here. She's one of my beautiful Daytonian friends. And thank you for being with us, Carol.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to be with you. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, and she's also a Toastmaster. So I get to go and go to Toastmasters meeting with Carol and hear her speak, and she's so elegant. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Carol.
Oh, well, I'm Carol Pruitt. I am president of my own small consulting business, Pruitt Consulting LLC, and I consult in the areas of civility training, etiquette, business protocol, and leadership, tips on leadership and growth and development, and also write lots of nonprofit grants.
That's quite a lot. That's quite a lot.
Yes, the grant writing is very time consuming.
Yeah. Explain what grant writing is, because we're talking to young girls who are not business savvy yet.
Mhm.
Some of them are getting that way though.
Okay.
Yeah, but what is a grant?
A grant is something that you can obtain for your cause, your business, a need in the community, special projects. There are all types of grants out there, starting from the federal level all the way down to the local level to your foundations and things like that.
Wow. And you said nonprofit. Explain that if you would too.
I work with nonprofits, those individuals who are awarded the 501(c)(3) status, which puts them in a category to receive certain types of funding. And I work with them because they are a nonprofit. It's not like they have large budgets like big corporations and businesses. So there are grants out there to help support their cause.
Oh, that's beautiful. So if our girls think about their community, like the churches, we know
Oh,
that's
yeah.
nonprofit,
Yeah.
but like certain clubs or organizations that help people in the community, like homeless shelter programs.
Exactly, exactly, and there are different nonprofit statuses out there. The 501(c)(3) is one of the major ones that a lot of people apply for because of their ability to get the type of funding they need.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's
Okay.
beautiful. And I know that you work with young people, teaching them etiquette and some other skills. Let's talk about that a little bit. What is etiquette? I mean, that's something when I was growing up and you growing up, we went to charm school and we
Oh,
learned how to
sure.
fold the napkins and set the tables right.
Etiquette is actually putting it in layman's terms, presenting your best self. And I would like to say at this point that that starts, especially what I'm trying to share with young people and the young college students who are getting ready to go into the workforce. Presenting your best self, starting with standards and values before we even get to table settings or anything like that, or conversations or networking or anything like that. Knowing how to present your best self. That could be by way of speech, by way of body language, by way of dress, all of those things combined to help present your best self when you're communicating and trying to reach a goal.
And I like that talking about communication and etiquette because, like you said, body language, how to
Body lang
dress. I don't
Mhm.
think our young people understand the impact of what they say and do,
Mhm.
their gestures, uh,
Exactly.
no, things like that can, especially these days with these living on social media forever.
Always, and because of the technology, that's a whole different workshop there, how it's impacted our communication skills. We're human beings first, and we have to remain sensitive to how we communicate and how our messages are received. By how we say it, how we touch one another, that eye contact and everything like that. It's all combined in effective communication.
Right. Communication is so important. And I like the way we can approach it in different ways. I use communication. I talk about storytelling as a way of communication. Um, but people communicate in songs, they communicate
Oh,
in art,
yes,
right?
yes,
And
yes,
then the way you dress is
yes,
definitely a way of communicating.
yes. And when we find ourselves in our culture, which is a mixed culture here in the United States, because we have so many different nationalities and ethnicities here, we learn from that. Everyone doesn't have to be the same. We learn how this culture does one, this design affects other people, and coming together with all of that awareness makes us a better society.
Definitely, definitely. And we can learn from each other too.
Yes, we can. Mhm.
Right. We were talking about how it's important it is to listen, have good listening skills.
Mhm.
And we get those when you're listening, how to really pick up that what's important. I think that's something our children really need to work on, is
Right,
listening skills.
right. And it's not all their fault because now in our society, everything is just so rush, rush. And they've learned to live with that pace. With that being said, everything, the processing is going that rate also,
Mhm.
and not being calm and balanced and able to really process to the best of their ability. I see it all the time when I go into the schools to consult. Everyone's rushing. The students are trying to do this, trying to get home, trying to be a part of this. Parents are, you know, we are a rush society here in the United States when we can accomplish a lot more just slowing down a little bit.
So give us a little mini workshop. Well, give us a little few tips that you can share that the girls can take away from this discussion.
Well, a few tips I would like to share. Number one, know who you are and whose you are so that you can love yourself to be able to love others the way we need to love one another in our society. And be confident in the contributions that you can make. Anything you don't know, don't be afraid to engage in to learn and grow.
Mm,
And grow to be your best self. You don't have to compare yourself to anyone. Know that you have your own gifts and talents that you have been blessed with. So you don't have to try and figure out who you are. Recognize what you have, how you were created, and what contributions you can make to society.
that's beautiful. Very good. Very, that just fits along with what this program is all about. We
Yes.
talk about all of those things, how important it is. First of all, love yourself
Love
because
you.
inside when you go inside and you find your own strengths and your own connection to everybody else, we're all the
Exactly.
same on the inside when
Exactly.
it comes to the soul level. So we connect to everyone else. And that's so important to start with ourselves because
Exactly.
change everybody else, right?
Exactly,
Right.
exactly, and
So
when you reference that and combine it with etiquette the way I do, when I said presenting your best self, it's knowing that you've reached inside, you've recognized the gifts and talents you can contribute to making this world a better place instead of trying to be like Betty Sue Jane.
mm,
Just know that you're good enough and you have something to offer to make this a better world.
so how do you get young people started getting to know themselves? You have an exercise or something that you recommend to 'em?
Yes, I do. I used to teach school years ago, if I shared with you before, and it was 5th grade. I would never post any bad grades the students had. That was one thing I did. Just the psychology of getting them to believe in themselves and be anxious about making those better grades. I always posted the better grades. Nothing that would make them feel bad. And then we would do a lot of role playing. I would ask for them to be in a position of accountability and responsibility that they could help make a difference. And while I thought several of them would be too shy, they were just happy that I called on them. And to see them just walk into that role I've asked them to be in, it built up their confidence as they proceeded with the process. Tell me, you be the teacher today. What do you want us to learn? And you would just see them just blossom, open up. Well, let's turn to this page. Let's learn the math at this level. Let's finish reading this chapter in this book where they would learn to enjoy learning.
That's beautiful. I love that style of learning is active learning.
Yes,
I think when you get involved in what you're interested in and you become more interested in it when you get involved, right? Get
yes, we
involved
do.
and get to look at what it's like to be the teacher
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
how in my book, um, I have a chapter on being able to teach someone else
Hmm.
what you learn. And one of the exercise is to come up with the lesson plan and actually teach somebody
Explain.
something.
Hmm.
It could be as simple as teaching your young sibling how to tie their shoe.
Exactly.
But
And
you,
make it fun.
yeah,
Make
make
it
it fun.
fun. That's what I tried to do when I recognized, coming back to the United States into the school system, that they were disgruntled because they really didn't, "Oh, I don't wanna learn this," but make it fun. If you learn this, if you wanna be a business person, you wanna sell lemonade during the summer, how much money would you like to make?
Hmm.
You know?
That's a good way, thinking
Yeah.
about practical uses.
Yes, yes, and that they can accomplish those goals and give them a roadmap on how to accomplish them and let them know, encourage them. You can do this.
Right? And encouragement is important. Like never give up, right?
Never
That's the
give
other
up.
thing.
Always keep the faith, believe in yourself, and you start every day with an attitude of gratitude. Because once you start with an attitude of gratitude, you start recognizing all of the good things that are happening in your life, that are coming your way. And then you're more grateful and it opens up windows and doors for other good things to happen. And they learn to expect that once they start practicing that attitude.
Right, and the more gratitude you give, the more you have to be grateful for,
Yes,
right? That's the law
exactly.
of attraction.
Exactly.
Yeah, then what you put out is what comes back to
It
you.
comes
It's so
back.
important. Our children need to realize they're always asking for this, asking for that.
Mhm.
And I apologize, I'm talking in general, because I know there's some children out there that are very aware of the importance of being thankful and appreciating what they have. But like I said, the culture is
Yeah,
is more, more, more.
right,
Right.
right. And when we learn to appreciate and then of service,
Yes.
being of service to others,
Right.
it's not necessarily about us, it's about being of service to.
Right.
Mhm.
That is so true. And you are of great service to the community in Dayton to be able to work with the nonprofit organizations
Mhm.
and give time to the young people in the community too. I just appreciate all that you do. And I really thank you for taking the time to be with us today.
Well, I appreciate what you do because spreading the word of worth and gratitude is so important. It motivates us and it gets us to think about how blessed we actually are
Yes, we
instead
are.
of worrying about the problems of the world. Just keep
Exactly.
that mindset.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Carol. I look forward to having you back sometime. And when I get back to Dayton, I'll make sure we connect.
Please do. I look forward to seeing you and continue to do the good work that you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You take care and happy new year.
Happy New Year to you.